Hello everyone, I will explain the evolution of currency with examples from various periods. When we look at the BC era, money was not yet in the form of coins and was used in various ways by societies. First of all, in the pre-coinage period, money was not always associated with primitive societies. Some complex financial systems, such as banking, existed long before the invention of coins. For example, in England, the banking system developed 1,000 years after widespread use of coins, but in Babylon, it was the opposite. Banking existed long before the emergence of coins. This historical perspective shows how complex and variable currency and economic systems have been over time. We also see that the earliest examples of coins were produced as imitations of primitive forms of currency that societies were already familiar with. This is evidence that financial development did not always follow a linear and logical path. Now I would like to give examples of how some primitive currencies, such as the use of seashells, competed with modern currencies. This is important for us to understand how currency has been used in various forms and different societies throughout history. Understanding this historical development will help us better grasp our modern economic systems. In Fiji, the teeth of the sperm whale, known as tambwa, hold a significant place in Fijian culture. These teeth are used in traditional ceremonies and welcoming rituals for important guests. For example, they were used in the ritual during the visits of Queen Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh in 1982. Whale teeth have also been used as dowries and have brought great prestige to their owners. On the other hand, let's look at the stone money known as fei on Yap Island. These stones were brought from Palau, which is 260 miles away from the island, or even farther from Guam. These stones, varying in size, have maintained and even increased their value over centuries. During World War II in Yap, it was observed that the American dollar was already being used in foreign trade, but the stone money still held its significance. These two forms of currency have social, cultural, and religious significance beyond their material value. The whale teeth in Fiji and the stone money in Yap not only represent economic value, but also reflect prestige, rank, and religious values within their respective societies. These examples show that money is not just a means of exchange, but also a part of culture and history. While modern currencies have replaced these traditional forms of currency, these examples are valuable in understanding the cultural and historical importance of currency. Now I will provide information about the efforts of early colonizers in North America to establish a generally accepted currency system and the favorite currency of American Indians, known as wampum, which was used during this process. Wampum is a currency made up of bead strings, primarily white in color. The word wampum in the native language means white, and these beads were often white. Jacques Cartier documented this widespread Native American currency for the first time in 1535. Wampum is made from Venus mercenaria seashells, which are abundant along the northeastern coasts of North America and Canada. Wampum was used primarily in coastal states, but it also spread to inland regions. These beads could be black-edged with purple, and black wampum was generally considered to be twice as valuable as white wampum. Wampum was widely used by some Native American tribes in North America, and some tribes, especially the Narragansetts, specialized in wampum production. However, with the spread of steel drills, the production of these beads increased and their quality declined. Wampum also played an important role among white settlers during the early colonial period and was accepted as legal tender in many American colonies. In 1637, Massachusetts valued white wampum at 6 beads per penny and black wampum at 3 beads per penny. Wampum was discontinued as legal tender in the New England states in 1661, but continued to be used as a popular currency in North America for nearly 200 more years. The use of wampum as currency was an extension of using an object initially desired as an ornament as a currency. Wampum served as a strong store of value, both before and after gaining additional functions as a medium of exchange and a means of payment. This indicates that the transition from European currencies to primitive beads was not a regression, but rather a sidestep. During this process, as Americans and Canadians established their own currency systems, wampum bead strings served as a durable and desirable bridge during the transition to modern forms of currency. Now let's talk a bit about metal currencies used before the invention of coins. For primitive humans coming out of the Stone Age, all kinds of metals were valuable. The distinction between basic and precious metals became significant with the development of metallurgy and the availability of various metals. Metals like copper, bronze, gold, silver, and electrum were known and used before iron. Aluminum was introduced in the 19th century. Aluminum, named by Humphrey Davy in 1809, was separated by Hans Christian Ørsted in 1825 and was introduced as a special attraction at the 1855 Paris Expo. As metals became indispensable for Stone Age humans, they began to be used as currency. In some languages, silver and money are the same word. For example, argent in French and Aryan in Welsh. Chinese people started producing bronze and copper cowrie shells at the end of the Stone Age. These imitation cowrie shells might have represented high values when first introduced and are considered by some numismatists as some of the earliest forms of currency. Especially in West Africa, Manila currencies demonstrate the diversity of metal currencies. Manila is usually a bracelet or necklace piece made of copper or brass that can be used as currency. The origin of manillas is uncertain. Some claims suggest they originated from ancient Phoenician trade connections, while others propose they were derived from metals salvaged from the ships of Portuguese explorers that sank off the coast of Guinea in the 15th century. The use of metal currencies represents a transition from primitive societies to more advanced economies. Metal currency usage is a superior form of money in terms of several fundamental qualities: recognizability, utility, portability, divisibility, indestructibility, value stability, and homogeneity that accelerate financial transactions. Stay tuned to become a conscious investor. You can support us by subscribing and turning on notifications. You can trade with a 10% commission discount by subscribing to exchanges through our referral links. Thank you for listening. See you in the next videos.